Joining us now, Congressman Scott Fitzgerald from House Judiciary. It's good to see you, sir. First, let's deal with this. You were there yesterday when Congressman Greg Steube asked the Attorney General, what's with the double standard? Why didn't you go after left-wing activists who got away with breaking in and occupying federal buildings in D.C., injuring police officers? One officer was taken in the hospital. What's with that?
Yeah, I mean, I thought that Congressman Steube was right on the mark. What we've continued to see is that he has politicized the department. And he was asked this point blank by numerous members on the Judiciary Committee, Liz, and he didn't have a good answer. I got to be honest with you, I was disappointed in the entire day. He was ill-prepared. He dodged a lot of questions, I think, and then there were some that he just didn't have good answers for. So it's disturbing when you talk about the major issues facing the nation, and the Attorney General of this nation is ill-prepared to deal with them.
Let's watch what happened yesterday. Watch this.
So suffice it to say, it's clear that you feel very strongly about using the full force of your position to prosecute those involved in the January 6th protests. What is not clear, however, is if you will use the same force against violent left-wing domestic terrorists. Would you call both of these acts domestic terrorism?
Look, I'm not going to comment about particular matters. This is a matter that...
I'm not asking you to comment on a particular... I'm asking you to comment on these two photos. You have two pictures of individuals forcing themselves into a government building right here in Washington, D.C. And one, you as I laid out, very welcomely call them domestic terrorists, but you're refusing to call groups like this, who commit the same atrocities here in Washington, D.C., domestic terrorists.
What do you say?
Yeah, I mean, this is evidence, and this is proof that he is politicizing the office that he holds. And you know, a lot of the items related to the school board stuff, he pretended that he didn't know was in the memos. I mean, there were questions that were related that we asked later on about the Clinton Foundation and whether or not he was going to continue investigations. He didn't have any information on that. I mean, overall, I think that you know, what they accused President Trump and AG Barr of doing is exactly what's going on right now. There is a ton of influence coming out of the White House into the AG's office.
Okay, you know, both the Capitol riots, that was bad, right? Don't disrupt the vote, that's bad. Don't let left-wing activists try to occupy the Department of the Interior. That's bad. Okay, so we have emails. You pointed out this. Emails obtained by parents defending education indicate the White House was talking to top officials at the National School Boards Association weeks before sending their late September letter to the president saying, yes, demand federal firepower. Aiming at the parents that are meant to, that federal firepower is meant to catch terrorists, but aiming at parents upset with school boards letting porn in school libraries and dividing children based on race. I mean, so this is why isn't anybody in the government sitting down with the parents to listen to them? Why isn't the White House doing that? Why isn't the Education Department doing that?
Yeah, numerous members of Judiciary brought up this same issue. You know, I thought we did a good job of laying out the case that when the National Teachers Union puts out a statement and then continues to lobby for the idea that parents who show up at the local school board meeting should somehow be labeled as domestic terrorists, we're outraged. And we know there was a 5-day lag between when that press release went out and when the White House started to put pressure on the AG. He denied it time and time again, but the facts speak for themselves. There's absolutely a linkage between what that National Teachers Union asked for and exactly what the AG's office then put in that memo.
So the Attorney General also testified yesterday that he took the word of the School Board Association that parents should be investigated as domestic terrorists. He admitted he signed off on aiming federal firepower used for terrorists, but on parents, based on nothing but that letter, no other government data. I mean, that's pretty scary stuff that anybody could go that far, right?
Yeah, it was shocking. I mean, I think those of us that were sitting there listening to the testimony when he basically offered that and admitted that, we were all kind of struck with this is something that's completely unacceptable. Quite honestly, I can't believe that the White House isn't kind of doing more damage control, because it's still out there today and no one's really addressed it.
Yeah, and he has a conflict of interest. His son-in-law, the AG's son-in-law, co-founded Panorama, which made at least $27 million since 2017. It quadrupled its business since the president took office, selling, consultancy work with school boards on, dividing kids based on race, sexual identification at the age of 10 surveys. I mean, come on. This is not what we want for our children. Congressman Scott Fitzgerald, it's so good to see you. Thank you so much for coming on the show. Still to come this hour, the border